Hi and welcome to the Malat Cookery channel. So today I'm going to be doing thin cut steak on the barbecue, and I'm going to be adding to that steak a delicious peppercorn sauce. So this particular recipe I'd normally do at a family barbecue. We like to try and serve steak at a family barbecue, but it is really expensive, so we have to go for the thin cut steak. That brings two additional problems. One is because it's thin cut, it's going to dry out very quickly on the barbecue, and the other one is it's going to be cold fairly quickly as well, and you can never get people to eat a family barbecue when you want them to eat. So in order to kill two birds with one stone, I'm going to add a really nice peppercorn sauce to the steak. That'll ensure that the steak doesn't dry out and obviously it stays nice and hot. The spice blend we're going to be using from the Malat range is the Montreal steakhouse seasoning. I'm not just saying it because it's my wife's company, but this is definitely one of the best steak seasonings I've ever tasted. Before we actually go into the recipe, I'm just going to show you the ingredients that we're going to use for today and any other equipment. Right, so I want to make this recipe as simple as I possibly can. So with regard to the peppercorn sauce, I'm not going to be using double cream or butter, anything like that. We're just going to make it obviously as simple as we can. So we've got some thin cut beef steaks. Going to be using some milk, so about half a pint of milk. The Malat Montreal Steakhouse seasoning, or whatever you guys want to use. And we're also going to be using some corn flour to thicken the peppercorn sauce. So first job to do is just to prep the steak. So I'm not let this rest for too long. It's just a thin steak, but make sure you take it out of the fridge and just rest it for 5 or 10 minutes. So just putting some Malat Montreal Steakhouse seasoning on either side of the steak. And that is really it for the prep. So once we prep the steak, the next thing to do is obviously to cook it. Really important this step that we have a very high heat on the barbecue. It's warmed up well and a well seasoned cooking grate. So I treat the cooking grate on a barbecue just like a wok. So season it, only clean it with a sort of a rough brush and a wipe down. Don't use any strong chemicals on it at all. So I'm just going to cook this steak probably for a minute and a half on either side. That's it. We don't want the juices of the steak to go into the barbecue. I'd much prefer them to go into the actual peppercorn sauce. Gives it a lot of flavour and colour. Right, so into an oven-proof tray with the steak while we make the sauce. Right, so to make the sauce, and this is not how I would normally make a peppercorn sauce, but just for ease of use at the barbecue, this is how I'm going to do it today. So we've got about a pint of milk, just a heaped teaspoon of the Malat Montreal Steakhouse seasoning, and we're just going to bring that milk up to a gentle simmer. And just as this comes up to a simmer, now going to add in a heaped teaspoon of corn flour in a little cold water. And that is basically it for the sauce. Because we haven't pan fried the steak, no point really doing a roux with some butter and flour, because I'd only do that really if I was doing it in the kitchen, try and capture a lot of the flavour in the pan. So I'm just going to let this simmer now for about 5 minutes to thicken, reduce slightly, and then we'll add the peppercorn sauce to the steak. Right, so that's the peppercorn sauce done. Doing it this way, peppercorn sauce is fairly pale because it doesn't have any of the juices of the meat in there yet. But I can promise you, once you get this warmed in the oven, juices from the meat will come out and darken and really flavour this peppercorn sauce. So the next thing I'm going to do, cover this with foil and leave it in a warmed oven for about 15-20 minutes, be ready to serve. So there you go, thin cut steak cooked on the barbecue in a delicious peppercorn sauce. Really easy to do, and as I said right at the start of the video, it does kill two birds with one stone. It makes sure that your steak's nice and hot for when people want to eat it, and also it doesn't dry out. Please subscribe to the channel, and as usual, if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching.